Packed up my first time.
Stupid bell.
Welcome back to this year's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company. James Buchanan and Sam Tarlton, TMB, BNT, whatever you want to refer to it as show, presented by Starnes Barber. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Huskies head coach James Buchanan and Huskies head coach Sam Tarlton. Fellas,
Welcome back.
how's it been?
We've had people clamoring, anxiously awaiting, asking
Always.
almost daily, when is the season premiere? And I said, well, I guess Grassroots just forgot about us this year. I thought it was canceled.
We last. I already seen some air.
Yeah,
Last.
We're
one.
last.
But hey,
It's typical.
what's that one saying?
If you ain't first,
save
you're last.
Save the best for
No,
last.
yeah, that's what I was going with. Save the best for last. I
Oh,
would go
save
with
the
that,
best for last.
I do like the Ricky Bobby quote though. Amazing movie.
I don't know if I've seen it from start to finish. I've
Talladega
seen,
Nights?
Yeah, there's some parts of it. It's
Have
hard
you
to show
seen-
around your children.
Have you seen Step Brothers? That's even harder to show around children.
Parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a good laugh out of that movie though.
Yeah, they're all.
Brother.
Hey, talk about Will Ferrell. Did he leave the country?
I don't know.
No.
Was he
Have you
one
been
of-
keeping tabs on who's leaving and who's staying?
Nope.
I didn't know if you were keeping up with that or not. I don't know.
Nope.
Well, it's basketball season.
It is. How excited are you?
All right.
You've already got 3 underway.
We've played 3 games. That's why this should have been done a week or two ago. But
We should have had a premiere show. Didn't we have that last year?
yeah, we got to go eat
A
free
preview
pizza at Pizza
That
Inn.
preview show, yeah.
Might have.
Got left out of that too, I guess.
Hey, you had a good run in football this year. I was too busy
We did have
down
a good
there
run.
interviewing Coach Tilson during the
Give it up for
playoffs.
us.
Coach Tills.
Husky football. 6-4 actually goes down as
The best winning percentage ever. I believe.
best win percentage, and it ties for most wins. One year we went 6-5, so this team being 6-4 technically would, percentage-wise, be the most successful team
I think it
in
deserves a round of
high school
applause.
football history at North Green.
Hey, we told you when Coach Tilson was in there. I don't know if we told him. Your view record got broken.
By who?
By Coach
Tilson.
Tilson.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That little thing y'all did?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not that one though. We did a
Oh.
coach's show. He
Oh,
got
Coach's show?
he got 4,000 views.
He's the man then.
Yeah.
Hey, the good thing is, like I said,
Keeping it in the
it
family.
it stays at North Green. So that's
We
good.
we
But
talked about this. I made a special guest appearance on the show at one time. I don't even remember if it was this season or last season, where we talked about doing the Buchanan, Eric, Tarlton show, BET. But somebody's already got. They use that.
Somebody
There's
does.
a
it's
there's a
TV
TV
channel.
station called BET. I still can't get anybody to tell me what it stands for. But
Black Entertainment Television.
oh, well then we can't do that.
you do it.
We're all
Yeah.
white.
I was about to say EBT, but I don't know if that would work either.
Yeah, I don't know.
TBE, the best ever.
Oh, that could be good.
The best ever.
There we go.
The TBE show.
You're rolling here with Texas on
I
first
am.
day.
I had
Texas.
to. First day
We're-
in here, you know I had
Get
to.
him out of here. All right, we got to get the right kind of orange on the set.
There we go.
That little-
We bet. Hey, Sam's got class here in a little while. We got to get
I'll
going.
be in trouble first day.
Yeah.
Hey, before we start though, I gotta say, did you see that? Well, you probably didn't. Did you see that Eric and I did a show at Starnes Barber this year?
See, I didn't get on. I ain't been getting on there as much, but I'd like to plug Robert Starnes.
We need to go by there one time this year.
He's a man.
Christmas
Oh, man.
break, sometime around then.
Oh, we can do a show there.
yeah, that's what. Well, I was
do
gonna say
my-
free haircuts.
I
but-
do my own hair.
Okay.
Hey, you know what I want for
Well,
Christmas?
could you do a beard trim? You let him do that?
Maybe. Maybe my wife will watch this, and I want one of them things for Christmas where I don't ever have to go buy shaving cream anymore. Don't have to keep reloading razors.
Is it that
They got some
rolling
kind
thing?
of thing.
You roll.
You just it's battery powered, so you can just recharge it, and then dump out the hair.
He's trying to give you ideas for our gift exchange.
We
There
do
we
need
go.
a gift
Doing that this
exchange.
year.
Whose
Yeah.
turn is it? I got. Let's
I had
see.
you, I had
Sam
you.
got me last year. That's a great gift. I got
So
a great shirt.
I think I'm back to you again.
Tyler got me the vest.
No,
The
this
vest,
this is
yeah.
our 3rd year doing it, so it should be the last time we're doing something different.
So I get Tyler.
No, that's wrong because if we've done it
Because
2
we've
years,
done it, yeah. So we go
Yeah.
back to the original year.
So who do I have?
Could
I-
you-
I have to have
Because
you.
you got the golf.
Because I got Sam last
No,
year.
you got
Was-
Coach because you
I
got,
got-
the hair stuff.
I got him the first year. I got you the last year because
Yeah, you
remember
got a
he tore
vest
his
'cause he
vest
tore
at
his
the
vest at a
Kentucky
game.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I've been staying pretty calm so far.
Well, you've been winning.
3-0.
Hey, you're 3-0. Let's
Yeah.
jump right into it also.
Yep.
Picked up 3 wins to start the year. Cedarview, Jellicoe, Granger, 71-41, 68-52, 56-40. You told us last night that your goal was to hold every team under a certain amount, and that was 55, and you've done that, and you've managed to pick up 3 wins to start the year. How good do you feel about it?
Anytime you can start off 3-0, you got to feel good. Yeah, that's a lot better than yours. We're gonna sneak in. I think. I hope.
You better watch out for Vandy.
Boys, stay on task here.
That's a true trap game.
We're gonna listen to him to stay on task. Okay.
For once, he's telling us to do the right thing, though.
All right. No, feeling good. Obviously, early in the season, there's a lot of things to clean up. But I guess the one thing I'm most proud of is just last year, early in the season, we were giving up a ton of points and getting killed on the glass, and it was costing us games. And just to be honest, I don't think we've shot it great the first 3 games, maybe other than the first night against Cedarview. But our defense and our rebounding, I think that game against Jellicoe, we had 52 rebounds.
Wow.
That's the most that I ever remember us getting since I've been here. So I think the kids are really buying in to that. I heard them in practice kind of, bragging about, hey, I got this many rebounds, or I got that. So that's good. That's good to see. We're trying to hold the teams a little lower. I think if you look back over, the time I've been here, 55 is kind of that magic number. If you can keep them below 55, you can have a chance to win. So, like I said, anytime you can start 3-0, it's a good start. But obviously, we got a bunch of things we can get better at.
And I was here last night to see that game, and of course, Bennett McLean's been your leading scorer so far. I think you had mentioned that he scored 20-plus in all 3 games. You had Lance that did well down low on the block. You had a few other players. Lawson Davenport had a really good, I believe, third quarter where he had 6. You had a lot of energy players that came in the game also that you had talked about, where you had players that stepped up off the bench, played some key minutes, and gave you a lot of energy to allow those starters to rest, where a lot of teams you put your bench guys in, you kind of worry, okay, how much are we going to give up right here? But I don't think you have to worry about that with those guys.
No, starting with Ben, he's been great so far. I think he had 29 against Cedarview, 25 against Jellicoe, and then 22 against Granger last night. So he started off hot as far as his scoring goes. He's been rebounding the ball really well. Had 12 rebounds against Jellicoe. Lance, he missed all the preseason. I know in years past I've been on him a lot. Coach always says I get on him a lot, and I do. But it was because I seen something in him, and he's kind of starting to show us that. He got hurt in the preseason, and I'm just be honest with you, we were kind of struggling there in our scrimmages. He played 1 quarter against Cedarview, turned his ankle again, and then we were able to get him back for Jellicoe. I think he scored 24 against Jellicoe, and then had 15 again last night. He's been playing really well. Lawson is our point guard. I think he's been playing really well to start the year. He kind of does the bulk of our ball handling, him and Tyler. And then we're trying to get him to be more aggressive. He's been in double figures there. 1 game against Jellicoe was close last night. He had a couple good floaters. And then Tyler's that 4th guy that we see who can be an all-conference player and who can be a double-digit scorer. He had 15 against Cedarview. He struggled shooting it last night, but I think he did some other good things.
I have to say,
he said he was 0 for 4, I think, from 3 in the first quarter, and then he had a half-court shot.
That's what I was about to mention. I have to say, somebody on the stage behind me was joking around that they figured out his problem. He was shooting it too close. He needed to back it up a little bit.
Fun fact there, we left school, I think, Coach, and when I left school, I seen him out there practicing those half-court shots. So that's what it was.
Sometimes it pays off.
But he's been doing such a good job, like rebounding. I think he had 11 against Jellicoe. He just does so many little things that we have to have. He's been doing a good job defensively. So that's our 4 returning guys who played a lot of minutes. Then we got kind of those 4 role guys. And what I've been preaching to them is the first 4 or the second 4 are just important as the first 4, even though they may not get the, all the stats and all the, all the publicity, I guess, that them other guys are going to get. But Jaden Bailey coming in, man, he's just terrorizing the point guard. He's picking them up full court. He's getting all kinds of offensive rebounds and deflections and taking charges. And he's having a hard time scoring, but I think that's going to come. I think he's just pressing a little bit about putting the ball back in the basket. Then you got Thomas Darnell in here off of football, kind of doing the same thing, just adds a physical presence, great rebounder. Yeshua, same thing. Yeshua, he missed a year, so he's kind of getting back in basketball shape, but golly, he is physical. Took 2 or 3 charges against Jellicoe. He rebounds well. Just kind of like learning where he fits in, trying to get some of the plays where he hadn't been here. And then Isaac Gaby, he's getting better every single day. I think he's got a chance to be a good little shooter for us. Trying to figure out some of the things to do defensively. It's just a different pace for those guys coming from JV. Hadn't really played many varsity minutes, just getting used to the pace that things go in. Couldn't be more proud of what they're giving us. And then them other guys kind of stepping up and taking a jump from them being the role guys to now they're the main guys. So definitely a good start, but you don't want to be playing your best, I guess, in November. Obviously, you got a lot to get better at, and you got a long journey here to where hopefully we're peaking tournament time like we did last year.
Usually I save the preview part to the second half, but of course you might have to go in the second half by the time we get there. So I want to talk about the upcoming week for you. Of course, it's Thanksgiving week. Every Thanksgiving week you play a Thanksgiving Classic. This year you're going up to, I believe, to playing the Pizza Plus Thanksgiving Classic, I believe, if I'm correct. Jefferson County, Cherokee, and Morristown West. Are those the 3 games you have?
They switched it on us.
Okay.
We still got Jeff County and Morristown West, which that's 2 tough 4A opponents for us. So that'll be a good test there next week. And then they flip Cherokee and Granger, so we get Granger again out on their home floor. So, yeah, we decided to do something different. We've been up to the Hardys, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years in a row. And it just kind of got a little bit repetitive there. We get down there and we play the county schools and then a conference team. So we're just trying to venture out a little bit. Hardy's is a great tournament. We'll probably go back there at some point. But we're going to try something new. Coach has been up to Granger Thanksgiving a couple times. So we're going to get, 3 quality opponents, 2 4As and a 3A to kind of test yourself here early. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
We always talk about those tests early in the season. Usually it's not in those Thanksgiving tournaments, so usually I guess maybe it's the Christmas tournaments and some of the early games. Like you'll have Cherokee, I think, coming up later on in your regular season schedule too. But talk about those 3 games against Jeff County, Morristown West, and Granger. I mean, those are 3 opponents that otherwise in a tournament setting you wouldn't see, but those I think will really help you. So how much would you think it would benefit you if you were able not just to win all 3, but to be competitive in all 3?
I mean, like I said, winning, really, everybody wants to win, but I don't know that that's the biggest key right now. You want to play good teams early to kind of show you what you're bad at, I think. Last year didn't start off the best for us, but we played Dawes Bennett, played Jellicoe was a good team early. We played South Green early, Unicoi early.
Yeah. Then you played Tennessee High.
Tennessee High early, Daniel Boone early.
There's
no and I'm telling you right now, there ain't a team as good as Tennessee High from here to Knoxville, I don't think, right now. But yeah, just a lot of those bigger, stronger kids with, or schools with 2,000 kids. So, it's going to be a big test for us. And what I see, and I think Coach sees this in girls as well, when you step up playing those bigger schools, I don't know a lot of times if they're any better at basketball. It's just the physicality is different. Every time you go down a level, I think teams get, just bigger and stronger. As you go up a level, teams get bigger and stronger. So that's going to pose a challenge for us. But those 3 teams, we played them all 3 in the summer. That's a kind of a weird, fun fact. So, we kind of know what to expect from them. We'll just line up and see how it goes next week.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best. That's what the mantra is around here. Sometimes you just got to hope for the best.
You think you'll enjoy this a lot better than playing a lot of county teams again that you'll have to see 2 more times later in the year?
I think I will. Golly, we get down there and you play South Green and then you got to turn around and play them the next week. I get sick of Terry.
Then you got to play him again come February.
I think he gets sick of me. So, I'm just kidding. I love playing Terry. But it's fun, for sure.
Coach, we'll pass it over to you now.
Hey,
great start to the season.
Before Sam has to leave, you won't get into this mess.
Let's do it.
Sure. I hate for him to have to miss out on
We'll do Sam the first part of the show. We'll do you the second part of the show.
Okay, we'll just double team you
right
here. We're basketball coaches, so I don't guess we're supposed to know anything about football, right? Is that what they say?
I don't know.
No.
All I know is I don't see how Arkansas is a quality win for Texas, but a bad loss for Tennessee. How can you be a quality win and a bad loss?
Because Tennessee gets cheated. That's how.
How did Michigan fall under Indiana's key wins when they beat Michigan at
home?
I'll
tell you.
But Texas beat Michigan on the road, but it's not one of their key wins.
The chairman of the NCAA playoff committee
Michigan.
2 years ago was Michigan's athletic director. That'll
Conspiracy. You don't hear this on some of these other shows. Turn on ESPN, they ain't gonna tell you this stuff. We'll give you the inside straight about how Big Orange is getting big left out.
That's right.
But it ain't over yet. They can't keep us out.
1 to 10.
Army's going to beat Notre Dame.
That's not happening. 1 to 10. I wouldn't say how frightened. I wouldn't say you're frightened, but how nervous are you about the Vanderbilt game?
0.
No, we're gonna blow them out.
0.
0.
Okay.
I'll probably eat those words since I said.
If Vanderbilt wins that game, that clip's being brought back up.
I'll help you.
That clip's being
well,
brought
bring
back
it back. I don't care. I've been wrong before on here.
And we'll always be wrong.
Now listen to this. I had the worst feeling all day before the Arkansas game. Had the same feeling against Kentucky. And you seen what a mess that was for most of the game until we finally pulled away. Vanderbilt, I don't have that feeling. And I can't explain it. But you know the guy that used to help me coach, Ted Haley. I saw him the day we were getting ready to play Arkansas. I said, are you as nervous about this as I am? He said, yep. Same deal with Kentucky. For whatever reason, I don't feel that. And I think Vanderbilt may be better than both those teams.
They are.
But I don't know.
How is beating Georgia like so up on a pedestal that like Ole Miss is Kentucky lost?
Don't ask Texas or Tennessee.
That's what I was about to say.
Hey,
I do not want to hear that. You're 4 days removed or 5 days removed from it too.
Just lost 8 years in a row to them.
You know there are 8 teams that are ranked in the SEC, and Texas only played one of them.
Hello.
But I gotta say, it's not our fault that the schedules or the teams are bad this year. But it's the same thing I told James last night. Tennessee fans can't call Texas a schedule week because it's the same exact schedule.
Yeah, you're right.
The only difference is I think Alabama and
That's
A&M.
fine with me, buddy. You better check
we
them
lost to
all.
Arkansas.
Well, we both lost
Texas.
to Georgia, so that's all right.
Yeah.
Love you.
It'll be our own fault if we're left
Bye.
out. It'll have to be.
That is a conversation,
Sorry,
though. If Texas loses to Texas A&M and doesn't make the championship game, they could really be left out.
I'm not just being mean. I think they should be.
I'll always give it to you, and I'll try not to be as biased as I can, but Texas really doesn't have a good win. They have the Vanderbilt win, but
Arkansas's a great win, according to.
Yeah.
They struggled that game.
20 to 10, is that what it was?
Yeah. No
Let me ask you this: if Indiana gets beat by,
They're messing everything up.
If they get beat by more than 2 scores,
if Indiana gets blown out of the state of Ohio, I think you might be good if you win out. Because I don't see a way that if Indiana just loses one game and gets blown out against Ohio State, I don't see a way you can put them in. Because what's their best win?
Nebraska.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the same thing with Texas. I hate to say it, but if you lose to Georgia and Texas A&M, what's your best win? Vandy?
I don't know. Anyway, it'll all. We sit here and talk about it, and Coach tells me the same thing every time. Just be patient, and it'll all work itself out in 2 weeks. We'll know.
Well, you've got one. You would argue too. I just don't think that Army's going to put up a fight.
Oh, we got
Saturday.
Florida and Ole Miss.
Hey, I'm gonna
Florida
give
and Ole
Alabama
Miss
better not lose to Auburn or Oklahoma.
I'm gonna call a sleeper game that nobody's talking about that might get Tennessee in. It's gonna happen this week. Minnesota, Penn State. Minnesota ain't bad, and Penn State I don't think is very good. It's at Minnesota. PJ Fleck. I think that's gonna be a close one.
I think the one you just mentioned, Florida and Ole Miss.
Maybe.
After Florida just beat LSU last week, I think if they welcome Ole Miss in, is it a night game?
I don't know.
No,
it's
a noon game.
afternoon,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I honestly think that, well, I mean, somebody would call me crazy for saying that Alabama better watch out at Oklahoma. They'd be like, Oklahoma stinks. Yeah, and those same people would have thought we'd have went to Arkansas, a 2-touchdown favorite, and would have won that game.
Well, you all witnessed it yourself this year going to Oklahoma and playing a night game. You had a really good first 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter, I mean.
Yeah.
They're a great defense.
The funniest tweet that I've seen is about the parlay. That there's this Tennessee fan said he was going to single-handedly will Tennessee to the playoffs, and he just took like a big money line parlay for all the favorites that are supposed to win. Mm-hmm. And he's saying he never hits those parlays like that, so he's going to put money on it, and then Tennessee's going to get in the playoffs because his parlay is going to lose. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's how it always seems to happen.
I don't know. It gives us a lot to talk about, and I think that's what they want. They want you to talk about college football. Because when
Well,
I was
the
a
good
kid,
thing is,
here's what you talk about when you was a kid growing up.
Is that it?
Yeah. 11:55. You got 5 minutes.
We can start doing this fourth period because I have too much fun doing this.
Yeah. Well, I asked you today.
Yeah.
So you want me? You
You
may
did.
ask
You can
Tyler
move it,
if he
yeah.
wants to switch, and
That was
he's
my
got
fault.
too much coaching to do.
that's not a bad thing, though.
And when I
Gotta
was
keep
growing
winning.
up, it was bad because the Big Ten champ played the Pac-10 or Pac-12 champ
Yeah, it's Pac-10
in the
yeah.
Rose Bowl, and then the SEC, ACC champs might play down there in the Sugar Bowl. And I mean, sometimes you'd have teams that were ranked outside the top 10, but they'd win their conference, so they got to go to these bowl games, and the best teams never played each other. So the only thing people talked about when I was growing up was, how stupid is this system? And then here come the BCS, which wasn't perfect, even though Tennessee won the first BCS national title. But you're talking about literally, I was born in 78, and it was 98 before, and this goes way back before I was born, where you just had these general rules that you went by. I mean, it's better. The 4-team playoff was supposed to be the fix-all, and everybody started talking about no, because 5 and 6 may be better than 3 and 4.
Well, right now, 6 through 11 is better than 1 through 5.
I think the only way they can really fix it to where everybody will just shut up, just golly, why are we not at 16? Because that don't add any weeks.
I think that was always a great argument.
It's
What
the
did
same
you think
number
was
of
the
weeks.
perfect number?
I mean, it's 16, everybody
Did you
plays a
think
game.
16? What did you think was the best number?
I think it's 16 now, how they do it. 12 would be okay to me if they took out the conference champion stuff and took the best 12 teams.
Yeah.
Before the 12 team, though, whenever they were talking about expanding, before there was a number, what did you think was the best idea for a number?
12.
12?
I-
I thought 8 was a good number, but 8 leaves too many at large.
Well, you don't
it
wanna
leaves
give-
too little at large bids, because if you get the 4 conference champions, the non-power 5, if you even, or non-power 4 now, even if you did that, then that only left 3 at large bids, and that's really hard to kind of
The group
narrow
of
it down
5,
to
you don't
3.
want to leave them out because,
Yeah.
I mean, with NIL, I mean, all these kids are going where they can make money. Those are the bigger schools more than likely. So those group of 5 schools have no prayer unless you have some kind of stipulation to get them in. So if you're going to get them in, then you got the big boys up here hollering, well, we got 5 teams that can beat
But
them.
maybe it ought to be like conference champion unless you reach like some kind of loss threshold. Like Big 12, they don't deserve a team in right now, I don't think.
Yeah, just and
It's crazy to say this. Colorado's probably going to sneak in.
They're going to.
That's crazy when you're sitting there at number 12 and they tell you the top 12 get to go, so you're all excited. And then, wait a minute, there's 2 behind us that get automatic bids, and you're like, come on now.
Yeah.
So that's why I say 16. You get more at large, and surely that would shut people up.
It's always a conversation to be had,
Yeah.
and it's never going to be
But
perfect.
it
You're
don't
always going to
add
find
nothing.
people that
Going from
complain
12
about
to
it.
16 adds nothing. As far as, I mean, you got
A few more blowout games. I feel like that's all it'll be.
maybe, but you don't add any weeks to the
Hey.
whole process.
That'd probably sneak like a South Carolina in who could beat anybody right now.
Yeah.
They're playing well. I gotta go, boys. I hate that.
All right.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure. Glad we got this thing
I was-
kicked off.
I was teaching so good in here at North Carolina, they added me more classes.
They went,
More
look
classes.
here.
Coach,
Come on in,
Coach.
Coach.
Come on, Coach.
Just we're
Take
gonna
my
trade
spot.
seats.
Take my spot.
There you go. Sam's got to go teach.
I don't know what I want to talk about here.
It's a continuation of the
You guys
TMB
get
show.
you get
We
this.
get Tilson and
We're
Buchanan
back
this
to
time.
BET.
See y'all.
See you, Coach.
I can't take a seat.
Coach, you're out of the shot. I think over there. People might want to watch you eat that pizza. School lunch. Hey, listen to the mistake Coach made. Early in the week, they sent out an email to all the teachers.
And I didn't read my email.
Got to read the email. Anybody that wants Casa Guerrero.
Oh no, you
We
missed
got
out on Casa G.
We got a beef
Very
taco,
upset.
a chicken taco, beans and rice, chips, and we call it red sauce.
Salsa.
Yeah, salsa. I got it coming my way.
Well, you have to have cash too, and I'm not allowed
That-
to hold cash.
Well, that's a good point. If my wife did not work here, then I would have missed out as well.
He's
Yeah, I
back.
think so. All right, see you,
Now
Coach.
he's gone.
Go in there and teach them how to balance that checkbook.
Personal finance.
Personal finance. I might need to go down there and sit in on course or two.
All right. So do we even need to take a break, or are we just going to do a continuation and find a place to put the ads this week?
Right there's the place.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
My name is Robert Starnes. I'm a lifelong resident of Northern Greene County, where I currently reside here with my wife and 3 children. I was a barber in Greenville for the last 6 years, but I have recently changed locations to my new shop in Baileyton. It's at 285 Mortis Hollow Lane, Afton. I'm also a proud supporter of North Greene Athletics. Come see me for all of your men and boys grooming needs. Go Huskies!
Baileyton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Baileyton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Baileyton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Coach, you want to clap? Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company, TMB, BNT, whatever you want to refer to it as show, presented by Starnes Barber. As always, I'm usually joined here with Huskies head coach Sam Tarlton, but now it's just ladies head coach.
No, it ain't.
James
Our
Buchanan.
football coach, Eric Tilson's here.
I guess I'm the
Coach,
coach right now.
wave. There we
There's
go.
his right hand.
See, Coach Tilson didn't even take a week off. He's
He
back
got. You know
already.
why he's in here? This man has lunch duty, 3rd period, so he gets to watch all 3 lunch shifts, and then in between lunch shifts, he gets a little bit of a break. We just put in work over here at the Den. It's nonstop.
It seems like Coach does. Whenever they need something, is Coach Tarlton always the first one to ask?
Yeah. So, Tyler, what do you want to talk about?
3-0 Lady Huskies.
Did you see what I did there?
I did see what you did right there.
Since we last met,
There's been a lot
we've
that's
had a
happened.
change.
I don't know if they realize we've got a change in theme songs too.
We changed our opening theme because the tribal chief has gone from, the head of the table to the OTC. And I think they messed that up.
Oh yeah.
I think the original meaning for OTC was supposed to be only tribal chief. But everybody started saying original.
I thought maybe the one tribal chief,
Yeah.
like he's always the one.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
I thought the one tribal chief, like there's only one and it's me. There's a lot of meanings that you could go with.
Now,
But
Survivor Series, is that this Saturday? No, it's next Saturday.
next, it's always Thanksgiving week.
Okay, so here's the big thing right now, and we got SmackDown tonight. We may get a little more insight. I think Bronson.
Friday.
Yeah,
It is.
Bronson Reed has joined. I don't even know them two dudes.
How do you feel about that?
What's Tamalaga and Tua
Tongalo and Tomatonga?
Yeah, them 2 guys.
They came from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay, and then
But they're not Japanese.
you don't have to be.
No, you don't have to be. No,
No.
that's where Cody Rhodes came from.
Now, the one dude is pretty. Jacob Fatu. He's pretty good.
He's good. He's gonna be good.
And then you got Solo.
Mhm.
So they got their team of 5. And it's like, who's going to be the 5th guy? It's got to be Rollins, right? Is it going to be Rollins? Because they got.
How do you feel about that?
They've been pushing it and teasing it, so that's why I think it's going to be him. And
I do too, but how do you feel about it?
I see him and Roman back together. It'd be the coolest thing is if they do the Shield thing.
But they won't. But what I don't
what
like
if Dean
is-
Ambrose runs in and helps him at the very end? And
we can only dream.
no, I mean that would mess up the whole.
Now I gotta say, we haven't sat down since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Did you watch WrestleMania?
Oh.
Did
yeah.
you watch it live?
Watched it live.
During the main event, when you heard the Shield music, a small part of me thought it was Dean Ambrose. As soon as the music hit, I did, but I remember no, it's not.
Yeah, that was kind of wild though. I mean, it was it too much when you got the whole roster from the '90s?
Oh no,
makes
perfect.
an appearance.
It was perfect.
I mean,
you're gonna look at it 10 years from now, and you're gonna want to feel that excitement again.
Because who all did you have? You had Cena.
You had Cena, Undertaker, The Rock. I don't count Jay coming out there because no offense to main event Jay. Love him and all, but we're talking about the guys that we loved growing up.
Well, man,
when you had The Rock, Cena, and The Undertaker come out within 5 minutes of each other, when are you ever going to see that again?
Yeah.
You're not even going to see that in a Royal Rumble where it's possible.
Well, here's I think the part that made it not as great for me was you knew for months, probably a whole year. You knew for a whole year who was going to win.
Yeah.
And they were building up to it. And I mean, you got to do it, but I mean, I guess they didn't have to, but I think everybody knew that Cody Rhodes was going to win. So that kind of took a little bit of the surprise factor out of it. I always like for there to be some kind of real shocking.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. The year before, there really was.
Oh, yeah.
Which match was better, 39 or 40?
I think 39 was better.
I think 39 was too. 40 was more exciting because you knew Cody was finally getting his moment.
Yeah.
And we got to see
I think everybody thought that
a lot
was
of
going to
shock
happen
factors.
at 39.
Everybody thought it was 39, but I think that's what made it better was the way Roman. Everybody hated the way that Roman won, and I think that's why a lot of people, including myself, wanted him to finally lose because a lot of people don't like the heels. The heels are cool, but you hate the way they win.
Yeah.
But I think that made the match better.
Now, here's what I was kind of hoping they would go back to. When Cody won it, I was hoping it would be a thing where. Have you ever looked at like the history of who's held the belt?
Yeah.
There's been people that's held it for one day. They would win it at a Sunday night pay-per-view, and they'd lose it on Raw.
There have been people that have lost it the same
That's
day.
true, yeah. Like if there was a cash-in or some kind of... You want to know the craziest one? Like WrestleMania 9, when Yokozuna
and Hulk Hogan
was fighting Bret Hart, and Hulk Hogan's not even on the card. And Yokozuna, after he wins the belt, starts doing some extra beating up of Bret Hart. Hogan's music hits, and he comes down there, and Mr. Fuji challenges him right there. And Hogan beats him in 5 minutes, and he's not even on the card, and he leaves champion. So stuff like that has happened.
Do you remember Hulk Hogan from that pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Do you remember what he looked like?
Well, I mean...
Do you remember the black eye?
Yeah. What caused that?
That's a good conspiracy theory. What did cause that?
I don't know.
He claims a skiing accident.
Oh, I bet that wasn't it.
I guarantee somebody popped him backstage.
Probably so.
But moving forward, like you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it go back to where anything can happen any night. You watch a Monday Night Raw, you might see a belt change hands. And I thought when Cody won it, they might do that. He might drop it, get it back, always kind of be in the conversation for it. And nobody would hold that thing hostage like Roman did for 4 years, even though that was a pretty cool thing.
I think right now, I don't think... We've definitely started to realize under Triple H's era that you're not going to see a lot of titles drop like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I hate it. You did see the U.S. title do that, though. It went from Braun
they'll
to
do
Jay
that
to
with
Braun.
their other stuff. And even the Intercontinental, where Jay won it off Braun Breaker.
That's
and
what I
then
meant,
Braun
not
Breaker.
the U.S.
Yeah. So,
US
I mean,
is
they may get it that way, but I like to see them big dog belts. I mean, I wouldn't mind Priest beating Gunther.
You won't see either of them probably drop it for a long time, though.
It's almost like you don't drop it except at WrestleMania, maybe SummerSlam.
Big
I don't like that.
I don't either. I think you need to drop it on Raw every now and then for that shock factor.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel that same way. I think it should only be
Triple H will
reserved.
watch this?
No, I wish. It'd be cool.
Paul Levesque, you want to watch this?
I think I agree with they should only change it a Big Four, but I don't agree. Because then you kind of expect it happening.
Right.
Like, okay, well, they're fighting it.
What about Mick Foley?
They're fighting at Bad Blood. Well, it's not going to change at Bad Blood.
Yeah.
What about Mick Foley?
He won it on Raw one night.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's what turned the tide.
Yep. All right, we better
Were you a
talk about-
WCW guy or a WWF
No.
guy?
Always WWE.
You never liked WCW?
No. I hated the fact that they... Now, I've kind of changed a little bit on this in like the last 3 weeks. Because when I grew up and was watching television, it was... The big shots were on WWF. Now, I'd watch the NWA, and I'd watch some of this other stuff that was more local.
You had to watch Ric Flair every now and
Yeah, well, then those guys would elevate, and it was almost like you made it to the big leagues, WWF. And then I thought WCW was just stealing what WWF had built. We built these characters, now we're going to pay them more and steal them. And then I watched that documentary on Vince McMahon on Netflix.
Great documentary.
And that's exactly what he did when he bought the company from his dad. He'd go to all these other wrestling associations and take their best
Gave him
talent.
a taste of his own medicine. He didn't like it.
So he got a taste of his own medicine, but I am glad it kind of worked out. However, if you look at the reason why that they ended up putting them out of business, it's because it got to the point where they would literally put anything on television just to get ratings. That I didn't much care for
They
because
became desperate.
they went to an extreme.
They
I'll tell you when
became
I quit
desperate.
watching it. Undertaker and Stone Cold was having a feud, and he laid Stone Cold out on like the big Undertaker logo deal,
Like he was
and then
crucifying.
lifted him up, and it looked like he was crucifying him or something like that. I said, I'm out, and I was out of it for several years, wouldn't watch it. And my nephews, Jonathan and Jeffrey Zavaleta, they were little, and they said, hey, we've been watching wrestling, and they started naming some names. I said, I used to watch that. I know all about that. And I asked him, I said, they still got them half-dressed women on there? No. Do they still do all this crazy? They said no. And when I looked it up, sure enough, they'd gone back to whatever, like PG.
So you took a while off from
Oh,
watching
yeah, I
wrestling.
took years off.
How long did you take? Like,
It would have been right around the 2000. Because I was in college. I was big time into it in the 90s, 97, 98, 99. It's probably about 2001. I got married in 2001.
Okay.
And I think it was from about 01 to... I missed so many WrestleManias. Now I've gone back and watched them all. But I bet it was 5 or 6 years.
I did the same thing once
Yeah.
I got into college.
Well,
About
Jonathan Jeffrey,
2019.
they was born in 2005. No, I'm
So-
sorry, it's 95, 97. That's my kids.
Wow,
that
you
was
were
born
way
in 2000.
off.
Yeah, that's my kids, sorry. So they would have probably been teenagers around, or 10, 12. I bet I took 5 or 6 years off.
That's crazy. I did too. 2019 was the year that drove me away. It got bad in 2019.
Come on in, you're on the show. My wife's been texting me, my daughter's been calling. Come on in, Susie.
She's camera shy.
Food in concession stand.
You need to go get that?
Nah, we'll finish this up.
All right.
Better talk basketball.
Oh, I was going to mention Ted Turner. If you go into State Farm Arena in Atlanta, he's got a banner up there.
I saw that on the documentary.
Yeah, they did include that on there. You go anywhere in Atlanta, they probably got something named after
Vince
him.
cutthroat, ain't he?
Yeah.
It's cutthroat. But, you know what they say, what goes around comes around. I don't know if all that's true. But you know how much evil there is in this world? People that...
And it's crazy. You watch them for so long, you don't know about
You don't know none of that behind-the-scenes stuff that they're doing. It's like this Puff Daddy. I bet you had his CDs.
I've never liked him.
Bull!
I've never liked him.
Oh, you know you were sympathetic when Biggie passed away.
I wasn't born yet.
Oh.
That was 97. I was born in 99.
Puff Daddy. He's in big trouble.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I
Throw
think
him
might
under
happen?
the jail.
I think when all this starts to come out, he may not be the only one that goes down.
No, he's not the only one that goes down. Hope they all go down.
You know what? There's a payday someday. That's one of the oldest sermons that I can remember hearing from back when I was a kid. People may get by with stuff for years and years and years. They may even get by with it their whole life.
One day you
There's
get
a
an answer to it.
payday someday. All right, Lady Huskies.
3-0 right now. Picked up 3 wins. Cedarview, Jellicoe, Elizabethton. 62-36, 68-30, 62-56. Great defensive efforts the first 2 games. And I would say a great defensive effort last night, too. Just
I don't know about
a fourth quarter where they were able to get to the line a lot and score free throws and able to draw it back into a 4-point game with only about 30 seconds left. But take me through your week so far and how you've liked it.
Well, I liked the opening night there with Cedarview. I think we've been doing that for over a decade. I'd have to go back and look. But
4 years in a row, I know for sure since I've been
oh
working
yeah,
there.
such great people, great coaches, great kids, and they enjoy coming. We return the favor. We'll go up there at some point. I can't remember when it's scheduled this year, but short trip, just up to Kingsport. They got a good little school up there, and got a good relationship with those fine folk, the Seahawks. So it's a good opening night. I do feel like we, opening night, first game, jitters, we're trying to do things that were not there. So we turned it over. It's a little bit sloppy. I think that's just everybody wanting to make something happen there on opening night or whatever. But we settled in and ended up coming out with a big win, got everybody in the game, The second night, Jellicoe, I think maybe as far as their guard play goes, they had a couple of guards that they could hurt you. Knock the three-point shot down, could attack the rim a little bit. So I actually liked the way we played better on night 2 against Jellicoe. So that was a good effort. And again, by the end, we got that score kind of spread out. Actually, I think we jumped on them pretty early. But we just played much better, I felt like. And then Thursday night was a big test for us. Last night we played Elizabeth. And I think you're the one that brought it up after it was over with. I didn't even realize this. I knew we gave up 12. We try to hold people to them single-digit quarters as often as possible. And they had 12, and I challenged them there at the end of the first quarter. I said, we can't give up 12 and beat many people, not good teams. And we really settled in and only gave up 5 in the second quarter. And at one point, you said we were down 17-10. We took a timeout. And by halftime, we're up. What was it at halftime?
29-17.
29-17.
You went on a 19 overrun to end the second, and I think you started with 3 straight in the third quarter to go on a 22-0 run.
Well, that was big. And that all credit goes to the kids. It wasn't really a whole lot we had changed. We had to point something out to them. They have 4 guards that I felt like were not identical, but they're similar enough to where I didn't think it was going to be a huge issue with the matchups. So as much weaving and handing off, and they do these little rub cuts, and I thought the easiest way to defend that is to switch it all. And that way we could keep everything in front of us, and really they weren't forcing anything. They're very patient. So, and I thought Hannah did a good job on their big post player, blocked several shots. So defensively, that's probably about the best we can play that second quarter. But here's what I think happened that kind of flipped things. We got up by, like you said, it was 12, and then we scored the first 3 in the third quarter. It got to 15. They call a timeout, and I think it's one of those things where they're like, okay, that whole let's be patient and take what they give us, throw that out the window. We've got to score quickly to get back in this thing. So their guards really started looking to attack the rim, and here we go getting in foul trouble. And we just kept putting them on the line, and to their credit,
they did not miss a single free throw all game.
15 out of 15 from the foul line. So every time they went to the line, they were making us pay. And they just kept crawling back. I thought, who was it? Was it Lauren that made a really big 3 that they cut it to 4 and it got it back to 7? And then, eventually we were able to hold them off. It finished at 6. So I know they cut into it again because Cadence made a free throw there late to get it to 6. But
I think it was Lauren that made those last 2 free throws. And
yeah.
Cadence got the steal.
Yeah.
With 9 seconds left to go, because in a ball game, and you've seen it plenty of times too, a 6-point lead is nothing sometimes.
No.
They could go down, hit a 3-pointer, steal the inbounds, throw it back out, and hit another 3, and all of a sudden you're tied.
Especially
so to get that steal
yeah.
late in the game also to really ice it and seal the game was big.
Yeah, the way that game was going too, because they had gained so much confidence because they were almost scoring every trip.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where if we just keep giving them possessions, and they were fouling us and we wasn't making all of ours, that's for sure. There were several trips where we went 0 for 2. And then some where we went 1 for 2.
I know in the fourth quarter I tallied it up after the game. You went 9 of 13, but 3 of those misses came within the last minute.
Yeah. So, I thought Hannah had a great game. 28 points. I don't have the tally yet on the rebounds.
9 was what was in the book after the game, but would not be surprised if we saw a double-double again.
Yeah.
See you, Coach.
We'll get the breakdown back from Huddle and see what she ended up with, but she had a tall task all night. She played the whole game. And part of that, she's in there going to war with a kid that was taller, stronger, and was just down there beating on her. So she had to do that part of the game. And then the other part of the game was when they would go with a smaller lineup and they had 5 people passing and cutting. So she's out there having to guard people on the perimeter. I probably should have went to this earlier. It seems like it's just my lot in life. Every time we go zone, somebody hits 3 the first possession. And that happened last night. But I felt like they were just getting too deep and we were getting Hannah too far stretched out on the arc defensively. And so we went zone there late and they hit a 3. But then the last 2 or 3 possessions, it looked like they wasn't getting exactly what they wanted. Missed a couple shots, turned it over once. So I probably should have went to that a little earlier. But it's a big win for us regardless.
I mean, when you beat Elizabethton in any sport, it's always a big win. Going forward now, you're in a Thanksgiving Classic, of course, like I mentioned with Coach Tarlton. Going to Thanksgiving week, you always have a Classic to play in. You're going up to Granger playing in their Thanksgiving Classic also. And you get Cumberland Gap Monday, Cherokee Tuesday, Claiborne Wednesday. Is that correct?
That is still correct.
All right, take me through those games. I know last year I believe you played Cumberland Gap the first game because I covered that game. And I can't remember who you played in the other 2. But
we played them, Granger, and Knox Central.
Okay, so you're getting Cumberland Gap again. Same thing as last year, opening up with them. But you get a team in Cherokee, which you'll see in the regular season and you've seen in previous years, and then Claiborne also. Take me through what you expect in those 3 games and how excited you are for this year's Classic.
We're starting to gather a little bit of stuff on our first 2 opponents. Claiborne, I don't have anything yet. So we'll figure that out as we go along here. But the first 2, Cumberland Gap's big. They start 2 really tall players. They play a matchup zone, and one of them plays out on the top of it, and just makes your passes a little more difficult. But you know, we've tried to put in some things to go against the matchup zone, so maybe we'll have some success in it. And you know, we are becoming something now that we were not even during the summer. We've been putting a little bit of pressure on people, and we had to have we did a JV and a varsity this summer. So when we would go to camp, those games are crammed in there right on top of each other. So it's almost like you had 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted those freshmen to kind of stay together and play with the other younger players because they had some learning to do. But we have found at least 2 of them that are going to be very capable to help us and to make us a little bit deeper. So we can go about 7 deep right now. And the first 2 off the bench are 2 freshmen.
I think you went 7 deep last night.
Yeah.
I know one touched the floor just at the end of the second quarter,
right.
I believe, but of course you had Josie.
She played major minutes in the first 2 games.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, Katie McDevitt, she's going to be a really good player. She already is a good player, but she's going to show that to everybody else at some point. The speed of the game and the physicality last night, you know, it almost been like throwing her to the wolves.
Yeah.
And probably when we got up by 15, I should have got her in there at some point, but you know, we were in a decent rhythm at that time too. So, but Josie has played. I mean, I don't have the minutes breakdown with me here, but I would say she's probably playing as many minutes as some of the starters are, or close to it. And you know, just she is a physical kid, just tough and strong, very fast. There's a few assignments that she's missing. Who wouldn't when they're a freshman? You know,
it's
just
only her 3rd varsity.
Maybe she didn't switch when we were supposed to switch a handoff, and she didn't see it coming. It just happened so fast. She's not accustomed to that. Or maybe it's a backside cover down. When she's on the weak side and somebody's attacking the rim, you got to help the helper, and she's a little late on something like that. That's to be expected, and that's not going to get fixed until they get experience. So our first JV game isn't until December 2nd, but those 2 have really been able to step in and help us on varsity. So when we didn't have them necessarily playing a lot with the varsity this summer, but now we're able to do that, we're able to do some things that we're really just now getting to work on. So I don't know if that's some things that we'll be able to do to Cumberland Gap to help us out or not. It's one of those where it's so early in the year, you're just going to go in and I mean, we kind of know what they're going to do offensively against a zone, but we don't show a whole lot of zone.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hate going in blind. I hate playing people and not knowing very much. So we'll show them what we do know, and then we'll have to make those in-game adjustments. And, you know, Cherokee, I think they had a lot of turnover where they had some graduation, and now they've got some new kids in. So that's another one that we'll just line it up, hope for the best. And then Claiborne, we'll get it figured out. But Granger's a good host. They do a good job down there with their tournament. We went last year and we lost all 3 games.
Year in a row.
Yep, we lost all 3 games, but all 3 games helped us become what we needed to be by the end of the year. They were all 3 close. We could have won each one of them, but we made these little mistakes, and I think it helped us. We learned from it, so we're excited to get back down there. Busy times. Then we come back after Thanksgiving break. We have a JV game at Dobbins Bennett on Monday, and then I think we have Cherokee Tuesday, and then like Chucky Doak Thursday and South Green Saturday.
Hey,
so I mean, it's like these first 3 weeks of the season are super busy before we can get into your usual Tuesday Friday routine. So
is that what you all like to schedule, Tuesday Friday?
Yeah,
I know some schools do.
That's what we try to. The only time is if we have to squeeze in a 3rd game in a week. I don't like back-to-backs on Friday, Saturday. I like a day to prepare, so a lot of times we'll try to see if we can work in a Thursday, but then that hurts your crowd a little bit. You got your middle school games a lot of times on Thursdays, so I don't know.
Get your good old Saturday county games in, though.
Yep, got to get those in.
I think that wraps up basketball talk.
Okay, go Vols.
I got one more to talk about, though. Our Blue Devils. Did you watch the Kentucky game?
I did. I'm not worried a bit about that.
I'm not either, but what did you think about it?
All the Kentucky fans are acting like they've conquered the world now. Well, you know, our big 7-foot post player is cramping up all night, don't even play most of the second half.
Can you say his name?
Malaluke.
Can you say his first name?
No.
You can't?
Can you say his last name?
Come on.
What? Come on?
Like, come on, man.
Come on, Maluk.
Come on.
Malaluke.
What
But flag's a real deal.
do you think of Con?
Like him a lot. Like him a lot. He can shoot it. Knipple. Yeah.
Con Knipple.
Where do they get these names at?
I don't know. I'll tell you one that's not been unleashed yet. Isaiah Evans.
Is he the backup post?
No,
with
he's
all
the
the
little,
hair.
The little guard, the one that lit it up against.
Where's he been?
God, who'd they play last?
Wofford.
Yeah, he had 14 in that game. He came off the bench and had
You seen
4 threes.
James? That guy's huge.
Sion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big old guy.
Sion James.
Here's what's crazy.
Because at first,
about,
being a Duke fan, seeing Zion before, I was like, oh, Sion. And then they said his name for the first time over summer, and I was, oh, that's not what I think.
And Proctor and Foster. I mean, they're
Proctor and Foster are your leaders, so you expect a lot out of them.
they're
Proctor's 3rd year now.
They're going to be fine. I'll tell you this. This may sound horrible. And he's in the NBA right now. So, you know, congrats. But I just never did like the Filipowski teams.
Didn't either.
And it wasn't anything on him. It was just them building around him, and I just didn't think they fit. And he needed, remember his first year he had Lively.
Lively was hurt a lot too, and Lively was never an offensive guy.
Right.
And Derek Whitehead was also hurt a lot too.
Yes.
So that was never a healthy
team was okay.
team. Jeremy Roach could only do so much that year too. I mean, good for him last night. Don't like to see him at Baylor, but good for him. But
hit a game winner for Baylor.
He was never the offensive threat that I think we might have expected him to be.
So
that team 2 years ago was one of those that
I think they overachieved last year.
They did,
and I think they got a good draw. It kind of fell.
Well, what's crazy too is I say that, but 2 years ago that team won the ACC championship.
They did.
We forget about that. They just had a good run. They won.
That's a good coaching
9 in a row, and then ran into the Vols.
Yep. Well, and then like last year, didn't they beat Houston
in the Sweet 16?
Yeah. So
we'll say Houston was without their best player. He got hurt in that round of 32.
That's why I said it all fell for him.
And then they ran in, of course, to
overachieved.
The hottest team in the nation. They ran into the Wolfpack.
But this team, this Duke team, it just feels better than the past 2 years.
Well, I don't want to say it, and I don't want to sound like that biased Duke fan, but this team brings me the same excitement that team 5 years ago did, or 6 years ago with Zion and RJ and Reddish.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, not just the recruiting class.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
They're deep.
This team's deep. This team's big. I think this team shoots it better than that.
They did.
Zion, Reddish, and that RJ Barrett team.
Yep.
I think this team shoots it better.
RJ was a shooter, Reddish was a shooter, but you had players like Bolden, post, couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
Delorier was all right. Jack White, maybe the worst three-point shooter
I wouldn't call Reddish
seen.
a shooter.
You wouldn't?
Not then. I don't know that Barrett. I mean, Barrett's a great player.
Barrett could, yes.
But
Barrett was just a He was just
He's
a
a
true
tank.
hooper. Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I think they're going to have a great year. I think they can make a deep run.
Hey, Reddish is starting for the Lakers now.
He is.
It's a weird start lineup. I watched that game last night after I got home
I
from
fell asleep.
the Huskies game.
What was it on?
I've got NBA TV.
Okay.
Wasn't a great ending.
I got NBA TV. Is that where they kind of just break in and show like the end of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it wasn't a great ending.
No, they
LeBron had a great a great run, 3 straight threes, and then
Well, they said
bad
that
defensive efforts.
I read something that said Davis missed a couple free throws that kind of set up Wagner's game winner. Is that true?
LeBron went 1 for 2, and Davis went 0 of 2 in the last minute. I don't want to say it, but it was kind of like your game last night, where
Yep.
within the last minute of the game, you kind of had some free throw woes, and it did come back to bite LA.
We're going to have to get it to connect 4.
He had a great game last night.
He's 5 straight in double figures, ain't it? Something like that. Rookie of the year. I'm putting him in right now. Rookie of the
You
year.
know who's playing great and may deserve Rookie of the Year?
Our
from
Duke
Duke.
boy. Yeah,
McCain.
McCain.
5 straight with 20 plus, and I think the one before that was 18.
Is he still painting his fingernails?
I don't know, but you know what? Keep painting him as long as he's hooping.
Whatever.
As long as he's hooping.
Sure. Go
You're
for
on a
it.
team with Embiid, PG, and
I may
Maxey.
paint my fingernails. What do we need to do for me to have to paint my fingernails?
I don't know. You said that. Or should I set that
I
since
think
you're the
you
one that
should
has to
set
do
that,
it?
Yeah. No, don't.
Go win the Ladies Classic.
Okay. I'll paint my fingernails if we win the Ladies Classic.
All right. We'll leave it at that, Coach.
Thank you, Tyler.
Awesome
Welcome
to be here
back,
the first
everybody.
one. It's great to be back. Thank you
Good
all
to see
for
you
watching this
guys.
week's first edition of the Baileyton Drug Company, T&B, B&T, whatever you want to refer to it as show, presented by Starnes Barber. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.
Go Big Orange.